Hello, and welcome to Dementia Awareness Training. Our course material is sourced from Dementia Friendly America and the Alzheimer's Association. My name is Robert Stellatello. I'm the owner of Right at Home, Hinsdale, Oak Park, Chicago. We provide caregivers that help seniors and disabled adults remain in their homes in comfort and safety.
If you saw someone living with dementia, would you recognize the signs? Would you be uncomfortable? Would you avoid them? Would you be frustrated? Would you do nothing? Or would you be a friend? Would you engage them and empower them to get through their day? Would you welcome the opportunity to help them feel like a part of your community? Would you take even the smallest step to make their world less frightening or confusing? Every single one of us has a unique part to play in the lives of people living with dementia in our community. Become a dementia friend today and build communities where all people can live, age, and thrive.
Hey, Mr. Fredrickson, it's Tuesday. Aren't you going to the store?
Yeah.
Come on, I'll walk with you.
Find out more at dementiafriendsusa.org.
Currently, Oak Park is in the process of receiving designation as a dementia-friendly community. As part of the process, we have to have champion organizations or sponsors. Our sponsors are the Village of Oak Park, the Oak Park Township, the Oak Park Public Library, and the Oak Park Park District. In addition, you have to form a coalition that crosses all sectors of the community. And our partners on this include care providers such as Right at Home or ALZHEIMER'S, living communities like Brookdale and Belmont Village. We have the hospitals involved. The ALZHEIMER'S Association is part of this. There's restaurants and retail stores and banks, and communities of faith. We also have to have people who are living with dementia and their care partners as members of this coalition. So today, we're going to talk about what is dementia, give you some information about the different types of dementia, facts and figures about how this disease is growing in the country. We'll give you some information about how to recognize the signs of dementia, and what to do if you notice these signs. You'll learn how to communicate effectively with a person who has dementia. We'll give you some ideas about creating dementia-friendly spaces, and then some information about what you can do to help make your community dementia-friendly as well. So to start off, what is dementia? Dementia essentially is the umbrella term that describes the symptoms that result in impaired thinking and cognitive decline. The primary thing is that these changes are significant enough to impair your ability to function in your daily life. So there are two main categories of dementia. There's reversible dementia and irreversible dementia. Reversible dementia is typically caused by an external factor like an infection, dehydration, could be mismanaged medications. There's hospital-induced dementia. And the characteristic of this is when that external stimulus is removed, those activities and the symptoms of dementia typically fade away. The other side, you have irreversible dementias. These are things like Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body, frontotemporal lobal, vascular dementia, and even later stage Parkinson's disease can cause dementia. The difference is that these do not reverse. They're progressive. They get worse over time, and they're regressive, meaning they start attacking your most recent memories and then they chew backwards into your past. The primary dementia is Alzheimer's disease, represents approximately 70% of all dementia diagnoses. So here's some facts about Alzheimer's disease. Right now, 1 in 9 people over the age of 65 is suffering from a dementia-related disease. 1/3 of people over the age of 85 will have Alzheimer's disease. We have figures here from 2016 showing just over 5 million. As of 2019, that number is up to 5.8 million. So you're talking almost 600,000 people in just 3 years have been diagnosed. And these numbers are expected to almost triple by 2050, hitting close to 14 million people just in the United States alone. So here's the ways to recognize some of the signs of dementia. We've got memory loss, and I'm not talking just forgetting where you put your keys or forgetting an appointment or something like that. I'm talking about forgetting the names of your children, forgetting where you live, forgetting how to get to the grocery store that you've been going to for 20 years. Changes in mood, very often because people are in situations that they don't understand, they are anxious, and anxiety can lead to frustration, to anger, and now you've got a mood change. Misplacing belongings is another sign. Difficulty completing familiar tasks. Somebody who has been a gardener for their whole life, no longer remembers how to weed or to prune a plant. Somebody who's cooked can't cook anymore. They can't follow a recipe. You'll see social withdrawal. People who have participated in church activities or in like a card club or a sewing circle, suddenly they're not around anymore. And very often this is because they're starting to recognize that they're having issues being able to function as they had before, and rather than leave themselves open to embarrassment, they will just simply withdraw from these situations. You have poor judgment is another sign. You'll see people giving away money to scammers who call them over the phone. This is very common. Struggling to communicate, not just struggling to find a word when you're speaking with somebody, but just not knowing what words signify, no longer being able to write a coherent sentence. Confusion of time or place. People not knowing what day it is, not knowing what month it is, can very often be a sign of dementia. And finally, changes in vision. One of the things that dementia does is it reduces our peripheral vision, and it can have some changes also in the acuity of your vision. So, what do we do if you notice that some of these signs, actually more than one, not just one or two of these is really going to lead to a potential diagnosis of dementia. You need to see multiple signs manifesting at the same time over a period of time in order for it to portend a diagnosis of dementia. You want to schedule an appointment with your doctor, your primary physician. If they feel that the concern is valid, they'll probably make a referral to a neurologist. There are a number of tests that they go through to reach the diagnosis. Currently, the only absolute diagnosis of dementia can be given through autopsy. The diagnoses that you get from a neurologist are, this appears to be the signs of Alzheimer's, or this appears to be the signs of Lewy body, etc. Early detection is important. There are some medications that can slow the progression of the symptoms of the disease. At this time, there is no cure for dementia. But early detection will allow medication to be provided that can slow the progress of the disease. There's also potential to get involved in clinical trials. So here's some things that are important to note. Dementia is often difficult to recognize. People will compensate. They will change behaviors to hide their condition. It's important to raise awareness, to decrease stigma against the disease, and this will increase the quality of life for people living with dementia. Dementia is a disease. Inside, that person is still who they always were. They may appear different, they may act differently, but they still have emotions, they still have feelings, they have memories. They are who they were for their life. And as such, they want to be able to live in their homes without fear of exclusion. They would like to maintain their social networks to the extent possible. And they want to remain safe and included in their communities. And those really are the reasons why we have the dementia-friendly movement. Because there are changes in how people perceive the world and their abilities, we'll give you some ideas about how to effectively communicate with people living with dementia. First off, you want to speak clearly and slowly. They are processing information differently than you and I are, than somebody who does not have this disease. They always deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. They are just as much of a person as they have always been. It's important to Smile when you speak to someone who has dementia. Maintain eye contact. That's how you can get that connection and have a better chance of being able to get your message across and to have their message come over to you. Often, these people don't really know what it is that they're saying. If they get some minor thing wrong, like the day of the week or the time, there's no point in arguing with them. This is their reality that they're living, and there's no reason to contradict that. If you are with a person and you're in an area where there is a lot of activity, there's sound, there's confusion, very helpful to try and remove them to a quieter location in order to communicate more effectively. When people have dementia, they lose that ability to filter relevant from irrelevant noise. An example would be you and I could go to a ball game, and there's a game going on in the field, the organ is playing, there's a beer vendor, somebody selling hot dogs over there, the organ's playing, got people all around you are talking and shouting, yet you can carry on a conversation with your seatmate without any difficulty at all. Someone with dementia can't do that. They cannot filter and distinguish what is relevant from irrelevant noise. And always, when you're interacting with someone that has dementia, you want to offer comfort and reassurance that they're in a safe place and that you have their best interests and you want to help them. If you are in a retail situation or any kind of place of public accommodation, there are some things that you can do to make these spaces more dementia-friendly. You want to have bold signage, dark lettering on a light background, either white or yellow. And you want to place the signs right at eye level so people don't have to search for them in order to find out what they are. Graphics are better than long strings of words. People will not be able sometimes to decipher them. In terms of flooring, because of the vision changes that people have, we want to avoid shiny surfaces, slippery surfaces, and even things like an area rug can be perceived as a hole in the floor, and it will cause a dementia sufferer to not want to walk through there. And another big thing is avoiding changes in grade whenever possible. There are changes in gait, balance, and these can make people be more of a trip hazard. In seating, you want seating areas to be very clearly recognizable for what they are, have varying heights. A little bit taller is better so that people don't have to struggle to get up and down. You want to make sure that they're spaced sufficiently so that people can circulate easily through the area. And then finally, lighting. Natural lighting is best. In the absence of that, or if there's a limited amount of that, you want to have your lighting balanced so that you avoid glare and shadows. So, if you're interested in making your communities more dementia-friendly or just learning more about dementia yourself, you can go to the Dementia Friendly America website. It's dfamerica.org. There is a process there where you can watch a series of short videos and receive a designation as a dementia friend because you're more aware now of what goes on with someone who's living with dementia. You can encourage businesses in your community to become dementia friendly, taking training like this, and also sector-specific training designed for each of these individual categories: banks, restaurants, retail stores, communities of faith, hospitals, etc. You can sign up for clinical research studies if you are someone who's in the earlier stages of dementia. You can volunteer at local memory cafes or provide respite care for a neighbor or someone in your church. And you can also look out for the purple logo. The purple angel logo, you'll see it in the lower left hand of the screen right now. If that is displayed on the door or the window of a business or on their website, it means that they are dementia aware. They are a dementia-friendly space. They've had training. People in that business or in that location know how to interact effectively with people who have dementia, and this is a friendly and safe space. There are additional references that you can access through the Alzheimer's Association, Elder Care Direction, etc. Those references and links are shown here. And finally, I appreciate your attention and your time watching this to become more dementia aware. There is a short quiz that will come up at the conclusion of this video. When you complete that, you'll be able to receive a certificate that says that you are dementia aware. Thank you very much. I'm Robert Stellatello. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.